Happy New Year, everybody! I am so glad that you're here. Today, I wanted to talk about invisible disabilities because even though it's probably pretty self-explanatory, I feel like it's an important topic to talk about, especially coming into this new year, and we really need to be more understanding of those with invisible disabilities. And I think if we could do that, those with invisible disabilities could have a really great 2024. So, let's talk about it. So, to start off with, I figured it would be important to define and explain what invisible disability is. So, invisible disability is an umbrella term that covers all of mental, physical, and neurological conditions that significantly affect somebody's ability to perform daily life activities, even just taking care of themselves, walking, feeding themselves, keeping their house clean, going to work, things like that. A lot of people struggle with that who have invisible disabilities. So, and again, even though they have these things, they're not always visible from the outside. And that is where the invisible part comes in, because to you and anybody else, they look healthy, but that doesn't mean that they are. Just like the same concept of somebody may look happy, but that doesn't mean that they are. It's the same thing. So please try to be a little more understanding when you see somebody who is young using one of those motorized carts in Target or Walmart or anywhere. I've seen a lot of people get judgment for that simply because they didn't look disabled. So those with invisible disabilities often have some pretty common symptoms. Not all of them experience the same thing, but I wanted to give you an example of a few of the fairly common symptoms that those with invisible disabilities report, which is, number one, debilitating pain and fatigue, of course, and even dizziness, cognitive dysfunctions, vision and hearing impairments, learning difficulties and differences, brain injuries, mental health disorders. There's quite an array. But again, most of those things aren't directly visible to the naked eye. Obviously, if you know the person and you understand how the body works, sometimes you'll notice somebody limping and it's like, oh, okay, so they something happened there. You can pick up on those subtle clues, but it's not always. In fact, most of the time, it's not very obvious to most people. Another thing I really wanted to point out is why it's important to advocate for people with invisible disabilities. Aside from the fact that they are often misjudged simply because you don't look sick, there's so many other experiences that people who have invisible disabilities are stigmatized. They're treated differently. A lot of them are treated as drug seeking or hypochondriacs and things like that, especially if they have a lot of chronic illness issues. It can be a lot, and to some people it's like there's no effing way you have this many problems. And it's like, actually, yes, it is possible because I live with it every damn day. Hello. Advocating for invisible disabilities is also really important because, to say it more directly, it creates so much more inclusivity and understanding in society for those with invisible disabilities, because right now a lot of them are treated pretty shitty. There's no other way around it. They're treated really shitty. Me being one of them. I've had quite a few nasty experiences because I don't look sick. I'm too young to be having this pain. That's bullshit. Nobody's too young to be experiencing pain in this world. It's a thing. those with invisible disabilities, like I was saying, experience a lot of judgment and misunderstanding in public. And it can be really hard. It can be embarrassing, especially if it's in like a store and somebody calls you out in front of like a store full of people. It can be really humiliating, and it's not a good feeling. I'll put it that way. Just put it simply. It doesn't make you feel good. And not only that, but it really helps with spreading awareness for these diseases and syndromes and all those things, because there are too many people who suffered for years just thinking they were crazy or being lazy or whatever, because they thought what they were going through was normal, or there was no answer to it, so it was just how you had to deal with it. Until they hear about this one thing that's like, oh my gosh, I have all those symptoms. That explains everything. It's a little light bulb moment, and then you go to the doctor, and the doctor's like, oh yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense, and then you get an answer finally. So advocating for these things can save people's lives. It can save their quality of life. It can save their mental health in a lot of ways, because most of my life I've felt like I'm fucking crazy, or just that I'm a weirdo because I have so much pain, and most people my own age, especially in middle school and high school, couldn't understand it. They didn't know what to do. They didn't, it didn't make sense to them. And not just specifically to advocate for those with invisible disabilities, I really would love it if you, the person watching this right now, at your workplace, do you have coworkers that may have invisible disabilities? Maybe you should help advocate for them in the workplace and get them accessibility needs and accommodations that they need that could make them a lot more encouraged to do their job. And it could even increase their productivity. So I would really love it. And not even just a coworker, it can be in any setting. Any setting. Advocate for those people, please. And one last thing I would like to address before I close out this video, because I am going to be making a video more detailed on this. And I'm specifically talking about ableism and things like that, which falls into place with this. Please stop asking us personal questions. Just because you see us out there in a wheelchair or with a walker and it's, you want to know more, it's not your damn business. And yes, some of us may want to talk about it, but not all of us do. A lot of us just want to have a nice day out in public on one of our good days when we have the energy to go out and do something. We really don't want our day interrupted by some random stranger coming up to us and asking us personal questions. Like, I have heard so many stories, especially men in wheelchairs. It's like, what's your sex life like? Can you still have sex? Do you have sex? It's not your business. Like, it's really not. I know you're curious, but it's not your business. It's fucking weird to ask a stranger that question. How would you feel if a random stranger came up to you and asked you those questions? It'd be fucking weird, right? So don't do it to other people. What the fuck is wrong with y'all? Like, this is ridiculous. I personally myself don't experience it a lot, but I don't go out much. I live in the middle of freaking nowhere on a farm. So like, I don't deal with that much, but I know plenty of people that do, and it's fucking weird, and it's terrifying too, because in this day and age, you can't guarantee somebody's intentions are always good. So like, can y'all just please leave us be? Like, We're not an open book just for you to come and read anytime you want. You know, if you want to learn about those kinds of things, research it. Like, it's not that hard. Or there's plenty of interviews out there, I'm sure, of chronically ill people talking about those very same things that you have answers or that you have questions about. So go find it for yourself instead of asking somebody who may not want to talk about it. Go find somebody that did talk about it. Okay? I'm not trying to be really, like, mean or blunt with this, but it's ridiculous. It really is. So please, check yourselves, okay? I love you all. Thank you so much, especially if you're still here at the end of the video. I love you all so much. Thank you for being here and watching this video, and I hope you all had a fantastic new year. I hope you all have set some really great intentions and goals for this year. And if anybody out there needs some hype for your goals this year, please let me know down below. I can absolutely do some videos on that too, because I love to hype people up, especially if it's something that you're really passionate about. Like, follow your fucking dreams, my dude. Do it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like down below, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. I love you all so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.